Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to this week trade recap video. This week I got involved into 4 additional positions. Euro dollar and dollar yen are positions I entered on Friday. It looks like they're doing pretty well into profit. So we're going to take a look at them in terms of my entries and overall analysis. I'm also in silver currently right now. I did take a loss in the beginning here, but I did manage to get back into it right now, and it's running about 1 to 1 right now. And I also closed down Kiwi Swiss, which is a trade from last week that ended up with about 3.35% profit or so. And I also closed down Pound Aussie, which didn't end up giving me the kind of the bearish kind of price action that I was looking for. So I ended up closing the trade for now, and I'll see how next week goes. And I also did take a loss here on Aussie CAD. So let's go over all these positions. I'm going to start with the running positions first, starting with Euro Dollar. So Euro Dollar, we can see that from the previous week, remember from last week, we did close down a trade on Euro Dollar when price pushes to the upside and then failed to continue higher. Now, as we know, price can continue to develop in the correction that's currently in. So what was once a falling wedge basically evolved into a descending channel, which is kind of what we get here. And together, we actually reach to this potential, the double bottom here, which is also a pretty good significant area. And then we can see if we dig a little bit deeper into it, not only we have a smaller lower time frame descending channel to that double bottom, and we have a bullish reversal followed by a bullish continuation. So that was my entry here. When I saw that there was a very clean kind of bullish kind of price action, impulse up followed by a continuation correction, set the entry order here, and then set the stop loss pretty linear. I set it below the kind of the swing low here, and then it's about 25 pips stop loss or so. And price basically tagged me in, but failed to continue higher. You can see it tagged me just barely and then kind of start dropping down. But again, this is why management, this is why being backtest your overall strategy, your overall analysis. Even if you take a loss here, that shouldn't affect you. You're looking for possible re-entry. And on Friday morning, you basically, when the New York sessions start happening, we'll just start seeing pretty surge to the upside and then continue push to the upside. So this is all good for the price. And basically next week, I'm basically looking for continuation. I'm looking for scaling opportunity if we get a little bit of consolidation here, depending on what the price will do. Definitely looking for another scaling entry for a potential push to the upside, hitting the basically this bigger descending channel that we're currently in. And if we manage to break out followed by correction, then certainly further upside is also expected. So that is the first trade I have that is running. It's Euro dollar. It's running about 2% right now. Let's look at dollar yen here because dollar yen is also a trade I entered on Friday. So when we look at the overall price here, you can see that when we zoom out here, the same analysis doesn't change. We get involved with dollar yen quite a bit of time throughout this potential run in these few runs here, but they just never had the bearish kind of momentum to push the lower. Now I like what the price is doing now after this impulsive phase. We start getting a bigger kind of expanding structure now. So bigger swing highs and low, bigger kind of swing points, and now we have a larger correction. As we can see, this bullish push up to the upside after hitting this potential double top, it just failed to continue higher. It failed to create any continuation correction. Instead, if we dig deeper into this, we have basically a smaller ascending channel moving the price up. First impulsive break, first continuation correction. So I opt in with a correction after breakout. One of my entries I talk about. Basically, if when price breaks out that first continuation correction, looking for a lower time frame continuation, which is how I got in. So set the entry order below the correction, set the stop loss above the high, 20 pip stop loss. That's the most minimal that I would do in this kind of scenario. So price push to the downside, tag me in, and just massively push down to the bottom here. So what can we expect from next week? Well, because price pushed down impulsively, naturally we're going to likely get some sort of consolidation continuation. And if this is going to push down further, I would likely to scale in for another short position down to the low. And because we're getting bigger structure, what was once a smaller structure that I was looking at, and now we're evolving into a bigger structure now. So do want to see this continuation correction develop here and then do push the price to the low. So that is second live position I currently have right now. It's running about 3% right now. So let's take a look at silver. Silver is a trade that I also entered. I did took a 1% loss here. So let's take a look at the overall management. Now it's very similar like gold. When I talk about the gold price action, I'll look at silver. Now we did see a very sharp drop down from the price on this week Monday open. You can see that when Monday opened, we had this really sharp bearish move to the downside, but it was quickly recovered by a bullish reversal. So something like this is always the price that I like to see when I have a sharp push to the downside followed by no continuation to go lower or no reversal to go reverse. Instead, it's a reversal impulsive phase. And if it's followed by some sort of continuation kind of price action here, this usually gives you a very high probability of basically reversing what was previously the downtrend. So when we look at silver here, on a higher time frame, you can see that we are in this larger kind of structure that we're currently in. Now, I talk about that. I do want to see silver to push down one more time to the low, basically completing this higher time frame structure, which basically it did, right? We had that really sharp bearish push down to the low and then quickly recovered to the upside. So already hitting this low, completing this potential higher time frame continuation structure, and basically could expect this bullish move to continue. Now, if we dig a little bit deeper into here, after the first bullish push to the upside, I was looking for a possible entry, and the first possible entry, at least when I saw, was this kind of smaller correction, smaller kind of flag, fusing highs and fusing low. Set the entry order here, got tagged in, but basically just tagged me in, and it just quickly dropped down. That was a really quick 1% loss, and after that 1% loss, I basically was telling myself I want to wait for a little bit bigger structure to develop, something that's a little bit more tangible, and then basically what ended up happening is I see this kind of a, you can say this as a pennant or triangle, but to me it was an impulsive move, and then followed by kind of a triangle kind of structure here. And again, I opted with a breakout entry order. So set the entry order above the correction, and then stop loss pretty lenient this time, a little bit bigger than the previous one, about 40 cents or so. So price tagged me in, hovering around, almost tagged me out here, and then just gonna start recovering it. And on Friday morning, it kind of just had a bullish breakout from the price, and we have a strong push to the upside good. And again, same thing is expecting some sort of bullish continuation, some sort of bullish structure and patterns that you are going to form on next week, Monday, and then continue carry this move up to pretty much the next swing high, which is going to be my first initial target for about 6.5 to 1 or so. So that is silver. First trade, I did tend to take a 1% loss, and currently is running about 1% profit on silver. So these are the three running positions that I have right now: euro dollar, dollar yen, and silver. So let's take a look at the position that I closed down. So starting with Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss from last week, we went over the entry, we went over the overall price, that we have this impulsive move pushing upside, and basically expecting this to either break out and continue or possibly reverse after hitting the high here. So as I monitored this price, at one point was actually breaking out of that higher time frame structure that we have here. This was the higher time frame kind of flag or channel that what we were looking at, and basically it had that bullish breakout. It was running pretty good, but unfortunately after that strong breakout, it started falling down behind, potentially fall back down again, heading to the previous low. And I was really monitoring this to see if we're going to get further kind of downside, whether or not we're going to get a bearish continuation. So basically, when I was looking at this before I went to sleep, I saw that there is a correction here and then developing another correction. So forming that head and shoulder pattern, especially at the overall top of the overall price. So it's basically the market signaling that the bullish momentum may be exhausted, that we might get a deeper pullback or a deeper reversal, and I didn't want to hold through a deeper pullback in that sense. So before I went to sleep, I just said I move up the stop loss below this low of this correction here, and basically price just tagged me out here for about 3.35% to 1. And overall, very happy because, of course, I can't possibly exit here when there's no exit confluence to me. Basically, this could have just been forming a bullish continuation and continue higher. And if I was to exit the position, I would be more upset that I didn't hold through a pullback for the higher run. But in this case, because we have a very noticeable head and shoulder pattern, we have that bearish kind of reversal kind of price action. So I'm fine exiting here for a little bit, 3.35% profit, and then kind of move on to other opportunities. So that's Kiwi Sis, and another trade I closed down was Pound Aussie, which is also from previous week. We talk about the overall price, liking the overall kind of a down move, and then we have this kind of pattern separation, but it is still a parallel channel, and ascending channel breaking out of that, but we also have the impulsive move, and we followed by this continuation correction. So everything was looking good, and I had a few kind of deeper run. You can see we have the impulse correction, an impulse, basically breaking out of this structure here, but it just failed to create further continuation to push the price low. Instead, it had a really deeper pullback. My stop loss was at break even here still, almost taking me off for break even here, and then eventually pushed down once again. And before I went to sleep, the structure was looking okay, was looking something like this. But when I woke up, it basically had a push down and then a reversal. So I started seeing a potential descending structure here. And again, I didn't want a trade that hits about almost 2 to 1, end up with a break even again after we had this initial push down. So when this price started pulling back here, I moved down my stop loss to 1 to 1 here and basically get tagged out here. And then basically, if I wasn't going to tag out here, if this pushes up, I'm probably going to get tagged out anyways. So 1 to 1 or 0.8 to 1, it's going to be relatively the same. Even though after it kind of managed to push down, but it's kind of reversing back up again. So it's a little bit of consolidation, a little bit sideways consolidation, which is not what I usually want to see. When I enter a position, I expect smaller correction to form and then continuation instead of this kind of sideways kind of movement. This is also likely because of pound and Aussie are all getting strength, and that's why it's moving a little bit sideways. So I'm happy to get out of position here first, secure 1%, and then re-enter if we get a better kind of bearish kind of price action in the future. If we get a little bit more development here, that will give me extra confluence to re-enter back into positions. So that's the second position I closed down on pound Aussie. The last one I'll talk about is Aussie CAD, which I took a loss here this week. So Aussie CAD was looking kind of clean to me when I see this overall down move followed by parallel channel. Parallel channel did have the initial breakdown, but basically had a bullish reversal kind of price action. And to me, it's kind of forming a potential inverse head and shoulder pattern. So I like how this overall price what it's doing. Then I was looking for a possible entry for a long. If we look at the overall price here, at the time when I was seeing this overall structure here, I like how there is that left shoulder here on the left, and then right shoulder on the right here. And I was basically looking for a possible entry, a possible reversal entry that I usually going to talk about in this kind of scenario. So right shoulder here, kind of a descending channel, and when I look deeper here, we do have a smaller inverse head and shoulder. So inverse head and shoulder at the bottom of descending channel. And the descending channel is the right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulder. And multi-time frame analysis, the price failed to break lower, bullish reversal. So all that to me was enough confluence for me to enter a reversal order. But after price technique, basically it's not really moving too much. It almost hovering around the entry point and then looking like it was going to push up a little bit higher, but instead it kind of just eventually dropped down to my stop loss here for a full 1% loss. Now, when I look back at this trade, I thought the entry was fine. I thought that just the right shoulder or this correction wasn't finished and the price continued to develop. You can see it continue to expand this descending channel, but from a price action point of view, really nothing changes. I still see this as a potential inverse head and shoulder. I still see this as a bullish push up. This could just be a bullish correction. And if we dig deeper here into Friday, we basically have a mini kind of bottom here, and price can break off of this descending channel. So that's very significant in my eye. So next week, when I look at this trade, this is certainly something that I will still be on the lookout for a potential bullish continuation correction. And I'll likely to enter back into this position and enter to see this recent high as a first potential target and second high as the second potential target here. And uh, so sometimes I get questions like these, taking a loss here, how do you manage how do you get back into positions like that? Well, that is how trading is, right? It's fine taking a loss here, right? As long as your overall price action analysis, your technical analysis is still valid and it's still presentable, then you can always re-enter back into positions as long as the price develop into your plan. So to recap, everyone, Aussie CAD was a trade I took for a 1% loss, and Pound Aussie took a 1% profit here. Kiwi Swiss end up with a 3.35% profit after a head and shoulder reversal. And the trade I'm currently running right now is silver, running about 1% profit right now. Dollar yen running about almost 3% profit right now, and then euro dollar was the other position that I'm currently running, and it's running about 2% or so right now. So there it is for this week. Pretty much trade recap video. Any question, guys? Any comment or any feedback? You're welcome to let me know, and I will chat with you guys all next time in my weekly trading market outlook. And see you guys all next time. All right. Thank you very much.